The unit, the unit, the unit, the unit, the unit, the unit.
Now here we are, back again. So I made it to episode 2 anyway, and you're back, so that's good. How are you doing, champ? Came back for more, did you, bud? Did you come back for more again, chief? You back for more, bud, champ? Chief, bud? How you doing, sport? Want to go throw the pigskin around? Do you want to... You know? So yeah, I'm trying to record this episode about an hour. Or maybe a little bit more. But everything keeps going wrong. So I watched back the first episode and I was right when I was thinking the sound seems very fucking low. So that's not good. Everything else seems fine. The quality looks fine. I didn't even check my lighting today. See, I'm up in a fucking heap. But the quality looks fine and it sounds fine. But the volume...
It's not looking good, bruv.
So, tell me this as well, while we're on the fucking subject. Why does Bluetooth not work seamlessly? Like, it should be absolutely perfect. Bluetooth is out absolute years now, but yet it can still have issues. Like, there's a feature on my laptop that I only figured out recently because I've never used the laptop for much. And why do batteries on laptops fucking drain and die and go bad so fast? But anyway, I'll get back to that, hopefully. But like, there's a feature there, and if you, like, when I was testing little clips and stuff like that for the podcast, I'd send it to my phone and I'd see what it'd sound like on a phone turned up to the loudest. And think, oh yeah, you'd definitely be able to listen to that. And then I'd put on headphones.
It's not looking good, bruv.
So that's where the issue was with the headphone audio. Or I'd put it on the TV and the TV would be a little bit too lower than you'd like it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, you can click share and you can share it directly to your phone, basically. Am I meant to be talking directly into the mic or meant to have it to the side of my mouth? I think here sounded better, I think, the last time. So yeah. But yeah, it's a fucking bollocks of a thing. But yeah, so you click share and you can click send to my phone. And it'll just come up and it'll be like sending, and it'll say sending, there's a little bar moving. And then you look at your phone, there's just nothing happening. Your phone is just like doing all this shit, and you're like, man, you're meant to be receiving a file, like, and you click into the yoke and there's just nothing happening, and then you click into the thing on the laptop which told me it was sending, and then you click into it and it just says, no, not sending that. What are you talking about? I never said I was sending it. I was like, you just said a minute ago there was a fucking blue bar moving across the screen. You definitely said you were sending it. Now you're just acting like as if nothing, like that fella fucking. I click into the yoke and I'm like, what are you doing? And the yoke's like, me? Nothing. Just hanging around. Do you know, like that fella? What's his name again? I can't remember, but how is it not seamless? I really can't understand it because it's been around for so long. Like, even infrared. I can remember infrared was good. And then when Bluetooth came along, it was kind of like, this is a fucking game changer. The phones don't even, go on in a minute. The phones don't even need to be meeting each other, you know what I mean, at the top. They don't need to be on a date now, like, so I thought, Bluetooth, this'll catch on. And it did catch on, but it's fucking terrible. Why? And I don't even use the word terrible, but I'm using it now for that. So, I don't know. Do what you want with it. Think of me what you will. Put it in your proverbial pipe and smoke it. Is that how you say it? Proverbial? I don't know. I'm always going to question words that I say as well, because, like, I learned most of the words that I know outside of school. Like, I learned hi and stuff in school probably, or maybe I learned that at home. But, like, you know, and bye and things like that, and like chair, I probably learned them in school and home and stuff like that. But most of the stuff that I know and most of the words that I use and terms and all that kind of jazz, I learned outside of school. No, I don't mean outside the gate, like in the principal who's doing Tamara's teaching me outside the gate or anything like that. But I mean like when I finished school, that's when I learned most of the things that I know, basically. So yeah, I'm always going to question what I say and doubt myself in my language and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, so that's how it is, yeah. So what was I going to say? Anyway, I should have probably did have some notes. Oh yeah, so I know that I have to get into the hobbies thing that I was saying the last time. I'm gonna explain to you about when I tried to take up hobbies and stuff like that, right? But so I decided to. Do you remember I said I was going to do like features and like segments and stuff like that on the pod? So I kind of played around there a while ago and I thought, okay, what could I do? And I came up with an idea to do like things that I've heard out in the wild, like when you're walking around and you just overhear people talking. I think there's nothing funnier than it when you just hear something out of context and you're kind of like, what are they talking about? Or you just think it's funny what they're saying, even if you're not thinking, what are they talking about? You just find it funny, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, so I decided to just do like a little kind of a test one and see. And obviously I'm not going to fucking keep hearing things out in the wild, so I don't know how long it will last. But then again, I might remember things that I've heard before, or I might get people to text in or send voice notes in about things that they overheard out in the wild. And it might be a bit of crack. And then again, it might be absolutely fucking shit. Might be stupid, you know what I mean? And you just tell me, no, hey, bud, that thing is stupid. I'll be like, no bother, I'll just delete it, you know what I mean? But so I made a little jingle for it, and here we go.
Things what I overheard in public, things what I overheard in public. On the bus, on the train, inside in town, or over in Spain. Things what I overheard in public. Things what I overheard in public.
No, so that was the jingle anyway, all right? So there was like 3 things yesterday alone when I was in town that I heard, and I was just laughing to myself walking past, right? So I was walking past a coffee shop at one stage, and there was a woman sitting down telling a man a story, and there was another man sitting there next to him. So the woman is telling the story, and then the man that was next to him just butted in, and he goes, like, I could hear her talking. I don't know what she was saying because I wasn't paying attention to her conversation, like, and then I could hear him going like, yeah, and then she was like, oh no, what was it again? What fucking song was it? Was it Everybody? Yeah, it was. But he was like, so she was talking and he cut her off to kind of add to her story and tell your man that she was telling the story to, and he just goes, yeah, and she was like, and I'm sitting there thinking, what was that conversation about? So some of these things would probably have to be in the situation or be there to actually find it funny, but I thought it was funny anyway, so I said I'd tell you. And maybe I'll hear other funnier things in the wild and I'll tell you about them. But yeah, so then I was... So no, that was that one. Yeah, so then I was walking back up through town. So that was the first thing. And then I was walking back up through town and I'd seen 2 old fellas like in their 60s probably, and they were walking past each other, and one fella noticed the other, but he didn't notice, kind of a thing. So he was kind of taken by surprise, and he was like, oh Jesus, well, how are you? Oh, well, keep him well. Oh, hey, whoa. And he was walking away. He had his back turned and everything from your man. He was looking directly at me when this happened. This part of it, like, he was like, oh yeah, whoa, bantering with your man or whatever. And then he turned away from your man, looked towards me, kept walking, and goes, ha ha, boy, the kid. But it wasn't for me. It was still for your man that he was talking to, like, and he was, oh, boy, the kid. And then, like, you finished your conversation, but he's gone, like, boy, the kid him before he leaves, like. And then 2 seconds later, I was walking past the charity shop and there was 2 women, older women as well, and they were walking past the charity shop, and one of them goes, yeah, no, it's kind of smelly in there. The other one goes, is it? And she goes, yeah. Oh, we won't go in there, so if it's smelly. I'm like, what a weird reason to not go in somewhere if you wanted something like, and then there's just a weird smell out there. So you're like, no, I'm not going in there at all. Not going in there at all. The smell out of there. Won't be cat dead inside. Won't go in there at all. But that was things what I heard out in public. So the reason that I call it that is because if you're from Limerick, you'll probably get the reference straight away. But like, if you're not, it's very common for people to say like, sure, you're the one what wrecked the place, so you have to clean up, or you're the one what said you wanted to go to town, the one what. So yeah, so things what I heard in public.
Things what I overheard in public. Things what I overheard in public.
I think that stopped it, did it? It did, yeah. That's fine. Yeah, so where was I going to go with it? I can't remember. But yeah, so it's still very early in the year and I still haven't like done a fucking New Year's resolution or anything like that. I don't usually, like if someone says like, oh, what's your New Year's resolution? I'm like, don't do that shit at all. I don't have one, like, and then I'll be there trying to fucking drink more water and eat healthy. I'm thinking like I kind of do, but maybe I just don't put a brand on it. A brand? Maybe I don't brand it like I put a name on it because I want to act like I want to fool myself into thinking that I'm not doing it, and that within I might be able to do it. So I feel like I'm not failing if I don't do it. You know, that kind of way. But lately, man, I feel like a fat cunt. Let's go, girls. So I want to fucking, I don't drink water at all. Like, I'd say this is my 7th cup of tea today, and it's 3:10. And I've had about 7 cups of tea already. So my plan now after this is to drink a pint or two of water for the rest of it. That's not going to happen, like, is it? But I could drink a pint or two of water, but what else am I going to drink, like, for the rest of the day, like, know what I mean? I might have some Moi with E or something like that, you know what I mean? No, Moi with E, that stuff. I might have some of that, maybe. But yeah, fucking, I'm going out tonight. I'm feeling like shite and gonna put food in my mouth. But yeah, that's fucking, man, I feel like a fat cunt. Let's go, girls. So yeah, I have to apologise about the audio on the last episode, on episode 1. And I'm hoping that this one is better because I've changed around some settings and stuff like that and messed with it a bit. I'm being more careful about what way I'm placing the mic. I just hope it's not too low or high, but it kind of looks okay, but I doubt it's going to be too high. But I hope it's not making any weird noises that it's not supposed to make or whatever. But yeah, I'd just love to know how to do it properly. But look, I'm going to have to figure it out. And yeah, it is what it is. That's just the way it is, and things will never be the same. You know. But yeah, so at the end of the last episode, I was saying that I have no hobbies and that I'd like to have hobbies, and like I just feel like I'm just not able to take them up or something. I don't know what it is, but so a while back, a couple of years ago, one of the lads said to me that he was going to do 5-a-side, and now he'd be fitter than me, like, and he probably has played some sports before. I'm not even sure, but I was like, yeah, fuck it. I've no interest in soccer. I'm not any good. If I kick it, it's probably just going to go behind me. If I kick the soccer. If I kick a ball, it's probably going to go behind me because I just said soccer, and then I said if I kick it, it'll go behind me without actually saying the ball. But obviously, like, I'm not just going to kick the whole sport and the sport goes behind me, you know what I mean? I don't. I seem a bit better in this episode, don't I? Seems like I'm just doing it forever. I'm just a podcaster. Like, I don't know. Look at me, fucking signing on the wall. Who do I think I am? Podcast McGee. But I'm just a big fucking podcaster. That's all I am. You should go around telling everyone. So the five-a-side, yeah, sorry. So he says to me, yeah, we'll go play five-a-side. I was like, yep, no bother at all. So whatever time it was after work, it was getting a bit dark and cold. I was like, yeah, that's grand now. We'll go out and fucking run around and get a crack. Good laugh, whatever. And then I see fellas like coming along and they're all wearing like soccer shorts and stuff like that. I'm looking going, he has soccer shorts and everything on. I'm not going to be able to play against him. I'm wearing a fucking Mackenzie tracksuit or something. And he's wearing soccer shorts. How am I meant to... What do you want me to do? Nutmeg him? So, next thing he turns around, what did he have? A fucking tattoo of a fucking Liverpool crest on the back of his leg. Why is my phone ringing? How is it even doing that? Bollocks. Anyway, I can't answer it, so there's nothing I can do. But, yeah, my phone is on silent. How the fuck is it even ringing? Oh, it's connected to the Bluetooth now on the computer, is it? Oh, that's good. Oh, I hope you didn't hear it, though. Cunt. 1 minute now, I'm going to turn off my Bluetooth just in case. Because that's not ideal now if you can hear a big fucking gunkity gunk 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 gunk. That's the last thing you want to be hearing, like. So yeah, fucking soccer shorts, Liverpool tattoos, and skill. And I'm there in my fucking tracksuit thinking, oh man, I'm not going to be able to do this. So I went out but it was grand, like, do you know what I mean? It was a bit of crack. I enjoyed it, like, the first time. And then, did I only go 2 or 3 times? I can't remember. But yeah, I thought anyway, the first time it was like, yeah, this is a great crack, whatever, something to do. And like, I was bollocks after it, whatever, just running around. So I'm not used to it. Like, I'd walk to Spain, like, but don't ask me to run anywhere because I just wouldn't be able, like. So, yeah, good crack the first time. And the second time then, but yeah, after the first time, I remember I was out in Deals and I was getting a few bits and I had to get a bag. And your man says to me, what bag do you want? Because they're all hanging up behind the till. And I was like, give me that one there. I got a bag with a soccer ball and all on it just for the crack, like. Stupid fucking sense of humour. But anyway, and like, yeah, all up for it, fucking mad for it the next time and everything. Went out the next time to play. And did I fall? I might have fell. I don't think I fell. But what did happen to me was someone passed the ball to me anyway. And I fucking crossed it in. Is that how you say it? I crossed it in. And I didn't score, I don't think. But anyway, I aimed towards the goal and the ball went towards the goal. So I was happy with that, like. And that was grand. So I was feeling all confident. And I think people were kind of like, yeah, fucking. So I think everyone was cheering and like there was like women passing screaming and fucking camera crews and stuff like that. You know, oh my God, you're so good at soccer, football, and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Do you ever see what happens? It's so embarrassing. But that was grand. So I was all full of confidence thinking, yeah, fucking kicked the ball there. No, I went over towards the goal and everything. That's good. And next thing, fucking a while later, I fucking went, ball came towards me again anyway. So I swung and kicked hard and missed. And my hip just went, and I was fucking, oh man, the pain of it. So I don't even know what part of my body that I hurt. Like, I'm just looking going, oh yeah, it's my hip. But like, I never heard of someone hurting their hip playing soccer. Like, it doesn't sound like the correct term. You know what I mean? There's probably something near my hip. There's probably something near my hip that I fucking hurt. And that's, someone would say like, oh, he's after fucking doing a slippity bip. Do you know, I don't know the fucking term, but it felt like I hurt my hip anyway, so that's what I'm going to say. And people are probably going to be like, oh, you didn't hurt your hip, you hurt your fucking... And they'll tell me the name of it. So I was there anyway, and I was fucking over a hold of my hip, and one of the boys came over, and I says, what do you think is wrong? And he said...
He reckons the directors have gone that...
He didn't, but... yeah, so fucking... That was grand, and I fucking kind of shook it off anyway, and I stayed at the side for about 5 minutes, and then I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to go back on, and I'll just be careful, I just won't kick like that again. And same thing happened to me fucking 5 minutes later with my other hip or whatever part of my body got damaged that time. And I was just I was waddling around the place, kind of barely able to walk because I tried to kick the ball. Now, I might have kicked it one of the times or two of the times, but it definitely didn't do much of what I was supposed to do. So it was kind of pointless, hurting myself. And then I think, what did I do? I think I just fucking kind of, I think I just kind of fizzled out. Then I was like, oh, I'll give it a miss now this week. And then just like never went back. And I'm thinking like, you know, and that's how are you supposed to take up a hobby? I just don't understand how to, like, I understand how, but I don't understand why I'm not able. Like, if I try to do something, or if I go away and buy something and think, oh, I'm going to get into this now and this is going to be my hobby and this is going to be what I'm going to do to entertain myself and blah, blah, blah. And then I just try it for a while and then I'm like, oh, I'm not even unreal at that new thing that I just tried, so I'm going to give up. So it's fucking weird. Like, I wish there was a way to train my brain to just give things a go for a little bit longer and try and get into them and see will that fucking make me have interest in more things, because I just don't have interest in nothing. Like, so this is why one of the reasons as well I wanted to start the podcast is because it's like a hobby, do you know? Because I can fucking talk shit all day long, like, so why not put it up and let you listen to it, like, do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's why. That's fucking very annoying. 1 second now, sorry. The headphones are near me and they're making noise and I can hear them in my ears. No, that's better. Even though they're not on me, I can still hear them echoing away in the background. But so that was soccer. Yeah, and then like a while down the line, only a couple of years ago, I decided I was going to get a motorbike. So a couple of my friends have them, my brother has a motorbike, everything, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'll get a motorbike. And I tried to drive one. I remember my brother had an NSR 80 years ago, and he says to me, do you want to spin off it? So no, I fucking never drove anything like that. Like, go on, take a spin, it'll be grand, and kind of explain the basics to me or whatever. So I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll be grand. I don't know what age I was now. I was probably fucking only like 16 or 17 or something like that. I don't know. But I wasn't one of the boys flying around on fucking motorbikes and stuff like when we were growing up. Do you know what I mean? I just never had a clue about them. So he gave me a spin off it anyway. And I says, so I was fucking going down long anyway, going through the gears, fucking first, second, third probably. And I was there and I was thinking in my head, I'm doing it, like, you know, and then it's already now felt like a rocket back when you didn't have a clue, like, do you know what I mean? Because it went from like a fucking bicycle up to a motorbike, and then they got a power valve, is it? In it's already something like that. And yeah, I was flying it anyway, and I was thinking, this is fucking grand, I'm able to do it, whatever. And then it came to slowing down, and I was like, oh yeah, this bit, what do I do now? And then I was like, oh, you kick the pedal back down, don't you? And that changes down the gears, like. So I clicked down a gear, clicked down another gear, and then left out the clutch. But sure, if I was in third gear and I clicked down 2 gears, that means I was back in first. Now, I don't know if that's what happened, but thinking back on it now that I do know how to drive a bike, kind of, that must have been what happened. But like, I thought it wouldn't let you back in. No, it does let you into first gear. I don't know. But I think anyway, I clicked it back into first gear, but I never left the clutch back out. So I had the clutch held in the whole time, and I clicked down 1 gear, clicked down the second gear, and then I was thinking, oh, I'm still not stopping. And then I was like, oh yeah, I need to leave out the clutch. And I don't even know if I braked. But when I left out the clutch, the back wheel locked up. And I don't know how I didn't fall off. No, I wouldn't have been flying it either. I was going quick enough for the back wheel to lock up, but I somehow managed to control it. I suppose it wasn't a big, massive, heavy bike either. So yeah, I managed to control it. So I skidded. It ended up going to a stop, and when I stopped, then I conked out and I couldn't start it again. So I had to roll the bike back. Yeah, so that was my experience of driving bikes as a young fella. So then, when a couple of lads got them, and they were driving them for a couple of years, and they'd be going off way out on the weekends and stuff like that, going for spins and fucking everything else. And it was just a bit of a kind of a group thing as well. You know, it was good socialising kind of a thing. You'd see them all parked up having coffees and stuff like that. And I thought that'd be fucking a good thing for me to get into, like, you know. And when I'm off on the weekends and stuff like that, I can fuck off for a spin with the lads and meet new people and chat and this and that, blah blah blah. And I thought, yeah, that's a good idea. That's what I'll do. And I'm the type of person who, if I want to do something and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it or if it's going to work out for me or whatever, I just won't tell anybody. Like this podcast. I told about 3 people that I was doing this. And there was even people on my TikTok live recently and they were saying like, oh, you should start your own podcast. When they saw it, because I went live with this backdrop, but I had the logo, I had the camera turned so you couldn't see the logo. And people were like, oh, look at you with your fancy little setup now for your TikTok lives, and you should do a podcast and this and that. And I was kind of ignoring those comments and just not saying anything, thinking, little do they know, like I'm going to record an episode there fucking in a day or two. But yeah, in case, I don't know, like in case I tried to start it and it just didn't work for me and I'd feel like a dope or so. I don't know, but like I don't even, it doesn't even come into my head where like I'm not telling them no because I'll feel like a dope. But maybe subconsciously that's what I'm thinking is like, oh, I'll just do it on my own, and if it works out I'll tell people, and if it doesn't work out I won't tell anyone. So I'd be very kind of secretive with stuff like that, but I'm secretive enough anyway with things. Do you know, I don't really, yeah, I don't know, but then again, sometimes I can just fucking overshare the fucking shit out of everything. And I'm walking away from someone, I was thinking, why did I tell them all that information? They didn't need to know. Like, they'd be saying like, oh, and how's this now? And I'd be like, oh, it's great now because of this and that and blah, 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 and this and this. And I'm thinking, I'm there talking, I'm thinking, shut up. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Are you slow? They don't need to know that. They don't care about that bit. They only asked you this bit, so answer that bit. I'm thinking, oh yeah. I'm walking away then thinking, I fucking idiot. Why did you share all that stupid information? So yeah, so I didn't tell anybody, and I went on to the NDLS site. Is that what it's called? NDLS, I think, the license website. And I just says I'll go on and I'll see what I need to do to actually book the theory test. Do you know, do I need to give them loads of information, or how much is it, and this and that, and how long of a wait is it going to be, and whatever. So I just said, right, say nothing to no one, click into the website. It was fucking 11 o'clock at night or something. I was just sitting down at home bored, and come up with the idea. So I went on, had a look, started following steps, and I was thinking, oh, this kind of looks straightforward enough anyway. And just giving them little bits of information, and they already had, I fucking did it again. I came in here with no drink, and I'm looking around now, my tea is gone and my mouth is bone of vine dry, but sure, look, it is what it is. But this week's episode of the Unit podcast is brought to you by eggs. Do you know them yolks what comes out of a chicken's back axle? Yeah, them. Eggs are unbelievable. You can literally eat one whenever you want and nothing will happen to you. Eggs. Let's get cracking. I started giving them bits of information, and they already had most of my information. I think I put in my PPS number or something like that, and that linked to my account, because fucking hell, what am I trying to say? When I put in my PPS number, that told them who I was, so all my information popped up basically, and they had all the information from my provisional license originally, whatever. So I kept clicking through, and not my provisional license, my full license for the car, and I kept clicking through, and then it just came up on the screen, thanks, your license will be issued in 5 to 7 days or 3 to 5 days or something like that. And I was thinking, my license will be issued, or my learner permit will be issued? Think like, how? I didn't do the theory test. But back when I first did my theory test, I must have had the provisional motorbike on my licence already. But then when you get a full car licence, your motorbike learner permit doesn't switch over onto your full licence. So it's a separate licence that you need, and I never knew that. And I got on to a few lads. I was like, yeah, my licence anyway is coming. And they're like, oh, fucking you dark arse, you did your theory. I was like, no, I didn't do any theory test. They're like, how? And I asked a good few people. When I started actually driving the bike, I said it to people, and they were like, how the fuck did you manage that? I had to do another theory test and blah, blah, blah. I was like, I don't have a clue. It just worked for me. So, yeah, I did that and got the theory, and then, got the learner permit. And I was like, right, what do I do now? I've no fucking motorbike or anything like that. So, one of the lads had a Suzuki Bandit 600, and he told me he'll sell it to me handy. So, I was like, grand. So I went out for a look at it, and I was like, yeah, look, it's grand. It'll do me for first bike. It's, you know, I'll clean it up and I'll buy a few bits and kind of do it up a little bit, you know. And that'd be another bit of a hobby, you know, working on the bike and just upgrading it, making it look nicer and whatever. So then I decided, one of the lads said to me, he said, look, man, he said, we'll strip it down. And he said, I'll paint it for you. And I've painted all there, he said. And so I made up some stickers for it myself to replace all the stickers that we were covering up with the paint. Got a new number plate for it and LED headlight and blah, 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 and stripped the whole fucking thing down anyway. So in the midst of all that, I was there thinking to myself, so I used to shave my head, and I used to have a fucking proper skinhead, like I used to shave it with a Mach 3. And I started thinking to myself, I wonder will I go for the fucking hair transplant altogether. And I was kind of looking into Turkey, and now there's a reason I'm telling you this, I'm not just fucking trailing off. But I was thinking, will I go to Turkey? And I was looking up the prices and everything else. And I was thinking, yeah, fucking, it doesn't look that bad, like, you know, the pricing. You had to book, I think you had to book it and then book your own flights, and they'd collect you from the airport and everything else and bring you to your hotel and look after you while you're over there, whatever. So I was thinking about that, and then I fucking just think into everything way too much. I'm thinking like, oh, what would it be like now? Like, I hate flying. I do not like flying at all. And I was thinking like, what's it going to be like on the plane now with fucking my head all tender from the operation or the procedure or whatever. And I was like, flying is uncomfortable enough as it is. Be fucking stiff as a board getting off, and then I'm paranoid about being on the plane as well, so I hate the fucking thing. And then if I add pain into the mix as well, because I thought it'd be pure painful, but that doesn't sound very appealing to me. So I looked up Irish clinics. So I found one in Dublin and rang them. And I said, look, I want to get my hair transplant done. I said, can I send you some pictures on WhatsApp and have a look and see what you think? So I took all the pictures anyway, just all different angles of my head, and I sent them on WhatsApp, and they got back to me, and I think they rang me and gave me a price. And I says, look, fuck it, I don't know. No, I said, like, you know, I know this fella that got it done for such a price, and his head was kind of similar to mine, or maybe a little bit worse. And they were like, oh, Jesus, okay. I don't know now, will I be able to do it for that price? And next thing, she said, look, leave it with me and I'll see what I can do. So she came back to me then. I think it was only a couple of hours later or even less. She came back to me and goes, look, she says, if you can come for a cancellation, we'll give it to you a little bit cheaper than we originally said. And that way then we still have work to do on the day, and you get your appointment earlier and you get your appointment cheaper. Okay, what'll I do? So I was like, right. So it worked out at about probably about 600 or 800 more than it would have cost if I went to Turkey. So with the package that I was looking at in Turkey, I would have saved about 600 or 800 euro, but I would have having to fly to Turkey, and I would have having to stay over there for 2 or 3 days or something, like 2 days anyway, at least, and then fly back and whatever, and you know, fucking flights and everything else. And no, I just didn't want to do it. So I said, yeah, fuck it. I told the I told him, I said, yeah, look, I'll go for it. I'll do it. Fuck it. So my bike now was still sitting there, not touched. I think we washed it and we parked it and left it. And then we had this plan of doing it up. So I went on and I ordered all the bits for it. Did I get brake levers? No, I did. I got fucking 2 sets of brake levers and they didn't fucking fit. Brake lever and a clutch lever, actually. I ordered a fucking, like, a seat cover and, what else did I get? I got a couple of bits for it anyway. I can't even remember what I fucking got. And we started stripping the bike. So then it was time for me to go for my hair transplant in the middle of the fucking summer. It was sweltering when I got back from there, like. So I left home. I went and I got the train up to Dublin, and I looked up the clinic on Google Maps. So that was fine. Spotted the clinic on Google Maps. Got out of the train station. Walked across the road from the train station and got on a bus. I thought, that's grand now. This bus will bring me where I need to go. So the bus brought me most of where I needed to go. And then I got a taxi. So I got the taxi anyway. Fucking your man dropped me off. And probably 10 minutes, 15 minutes in a taxi, something like that. He dropped me off and he was like, yeah, that's it there now. And I looked and I seen the sign on the wall and I was like, yeah, that's fine now, and walked in and I said, hi, I have an appointment here today. My mom was looking at me. She was kind of like, yeah, what's it for? I said, a hair transplant. And she was like, oh, no, we don't do that here. I was like, but aren't you this place? And I showed her the picture of the name. And she was like, oh, no, that's a separate clinic. We do, I think they did like lip fillers and stuff like that. And I didn't want to get lip fillers then, do you know what I mean? But I checked up then and it turns out there was a place with the same name that's also a clinic, but they just do a different, like it's like an aesthetics clinic. So I was in the complete wrong part of Dublin. So I had to, did I walk, I think? I was like, yeah, do you know what? I'm not getting a fucking taxi now. I have a bit of time to kill. So I'm just going walking. I'm not getting a second taxi. And I got to this place. And when I got there, I got to the street and I was kind of looking around. I was thinking, where the fuck is this? Like, I just couldn't see it. Because I saw pictures on the website. And the pictures on the website now, like, it's a big glass building and it's cool looking and it looks like one of those, do you know, the class fucking clinics that they have over in Turkey that they advertise for the teeth and the hair and everything like that. It looked like one of those buildings. I was walking along this street and I was thinking, don't tell me I'm on the wrong fucking street again, no, because I don't see this big class cool building. And then I looked where it was bringing me and I thought, this is not it. Like, I was looking at it, I was like, this is not it. And then I spotted a little plaque on the wall and it said the name. So I was like, oh. I was like, this isn't the fucking building on Google. It looks nothing like it, like. And I asked the fella, I think there was a fella smoking there or whatever, and I asked him and he says, yeah, it's upstairs there, whatever. So I went up, and as I was walking up the stairs, like, the steps of the stairs will say, go across, like that, yeah? But there was, the stair, each step of the stairs was tilted, right? And you would imagine now it would be tilted back towards you or away from you or something like that. No. This was tilted that way. So when you're walking up, the stairs are like a forward slash, just fucking at a big angle walking up the stairs, right? And I'll get me carpet on the stairs now, and I'm thinking, am I really going to go in here now and get my hair transplant done in this fucking forward slash stairs clinic? And I walked up and I was thinking, oh, Jesus Christ, I don't know. The stairs were creaky and everything, and I'm thinking, why does this not look like that big class swanky clinic in the pictures? I said, fuck it, I'll go in anyway and I'll talk to him and I'll see, and if I see anything else gammy, like, I'll just fuck off or something, you know. I'll just tell, oh, my mother there is ringing me, and I'll just run back to Limerick, you know what I mean? But I went in and I was chatting to a receptionist or whatever, and she was sound, so I said, yeah, fucking right, I'll see what the actual person who's doing the procedure is like. And she came into me, she was sound, chatting away, and she gave me a marker and she says, mark on your head where you think you would like your hair line to be. So I went over, looked in the mirror, and I marked it. And then she came over and was like, no, and went up like half an inch, I'd say. And she was like, oh, here is where we're going to go. I was like, yeah? how come? And she was like, this is more natural and blah, blah, blah. But it is actually more natural. So that was grand. Took me into a room. And see, I was meant to just tell you that I went and got a hair transplant in the middle of getting the bike done up. But now I'm telling you the whole story about the hair transplant. But that's okay, isn't it? Kind of. I'll try and get to the bike thing, and then I might even just fucking continue on to the next episode. Who knows? But yeah, so I went in anyway, and they says, yeah, look, we're going to do this. We're going to take, I think it was between 2,500 and 2,800 grafts of hair from the back of my head. So they said that's what we'll do. So they said we're going to concentrate on the front of your head, which is called your temples. Yes? Yeah, so those little car parks that people get on their head is the temples of your hair that you're losing. So they said that's where we're going to concentrate. And I was like, right. I said, can you not go back further as well? And they were like, no, because this is how many grafts you're going to need for that part of your head. So I was like, right, okay, fair enough. And I was thinking I'd probably have to come back and get another procedure at some stage if my hair thins further back. So there's a woman doing the procedure, and then there's like an assistant next to her, and so one woman extracts the hairs and leaves them on a little tray, and then the other woman sorts them out. She has like a fucking yoke on top of her, like a what's it called? Not a magnifying glass, a microscope yoke, and she's looking down into that. And she separates the hairs, like, we'll say this graft has one hair in it, this graft has two hairs in it, and this graft has three, and blah, blah, blah. And then they'll put them in rows, all the ones together, all the twos, all the threes. And that was fine. So she was there anyway. She was fucking extracting the back off me. And every time I kind of felt a bit of pain, I was kind of saying, oh, ooh. And she was like, oh, it's sore. I was like, yeah. So she'd give me another injection of anesthetic. And that was going to pain be gone again. She'd keep going, and oh, let me know again. And she'd be like, oh, here's another one. And eventually she says, like, I need some anesthetic for my next patient. I was like, okay. So she stopped giving me anesthetic then, but it was actually fine. It was just kind of little pinches I was feeling now and then. So the two of them were speaking away at each other in their own language, and I was just sitting there chilling, whatever. And I asked her, I said, what, I asked her some question. She was like, do you want to see? I was like, yeah. And she was like, are you sure? I was like, yeah. So she thought it was probably going to be squeamish or whatever. And then she was showing me the procedure, you know, like the ones and the twos and the threes, and that she was counting them and whatever to make sure that they were taking the 2,500 to 2,800 grafts. And so as I said, they were chatting away. I didn't know what they were saying, and then it sounded like something was wrong. Thinking, this doesn't sound good. Why are they having this conversation? And they sound a little bit concerned. They don't sound like they're panicking, but you could tell they were kind of like, what? Do you know, that kind of way? And I'm thinking, like, what's after happening here? I hope they're not after fucking doing something wrong or whatever. Picture they fucking just went at a big angle or something down my head. But what it was is that your one had extracted about 3,200 grafts by the time the assistant had counted them all. So instead of 2,500 to 2,800, they extracted 3,200 by mistake. So I was like, that's right. I said, so what happens then? And she was like, oh, we'll put them everywhere else. I was like, yeah. I said, yeah, so I'll do the front like we were supposed to do, and then we'll continue back your head. So I actually got it back as far as about here. So it was mostly concentrated there and then spread out across the top of my head with the spare grafts. So that was fucking win-win for me. I didn't care. So that was grand. So she was there anyway. And so when they extracted all the hairs, they sent me out into another room for tea and biscuits, and they actually made me a nice toasty as well. And I think, was it when I came back in, they were like, oh, how are you feeling and whatever. And then I was like, yeah, grand, chatting away. And they were asking me just about life or whatever, just like chatting. And they asked me, I think they were asking me about, like, do I play sports or whatever? And I was like, sport. Yeah, right. But, and stuff like that. And then I said, no, I'm actually just after buying a motorbike now. I said, so that's going to be my hobby now for the rest of the summer. And she was like, oh, you know now you can't wear a helmet for a month after you get this procedure done. I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, you can't. You'll damage the follicles. I was like, you're talking fucking a big load of follicle here now. You're a pain in my follicle. Tell him I can't drive the bike and I have to fucking just fluky getting my fucking learner permit. And then I went, I ordered, actually, I meant to say that a while ago as well. I ordered all the gear and the helmet and fucking boots and fucking the whole lot. Boots to fur. But, so she told me then, you can't drive the bike now you can't use the helmet for a month. Like, oh, that's fucking great, isn't it? And I still had to go down and do my IBT. So I still had to do, like, that's for people that don't know, that's like a training course that you have to do before you're actually allowed to drive on the road. So, you know, when you get your car and you have your learner permit, obviously you have to have a full licensed driver with you until you get your full, and you have to do your lessons and stuff like that. But it's obviously a bit different on a bike because you can't just bring a full licensed driver around with you on the bike all the time because you're not even allowed to carry a passenger until you have your full. So I still had to do my IBT training, and I had to wait a fucking month for that. So I waited, did it, got that was fine. And fucking started kind of driving a little bit here and there, and I'll go back. So before I got the training, so straight away, like I stayed off work for a week after the hair transplant, and then we started stripping the bike in that time. Now, the sun was absolutely splitting the rocks, so I was wearing a hat over my fucking freshly transplanted head, and you're not even meant to wear hats, but I was wearing hats a week later. I was just wearing them kind of loose so that they'd sit kind of down on my forehead rather than sitting up where the head was affected, you know what I mean? So I was doing that, and the fucking sweat was pouring out of me. That was another thing I didn't tell anyone about when I got the hair transplant done. I didn't tell anyone that I was going getting the learner permit for the bike, and I didn't tell anyone that I was going getting the hair transplant done. So one of the lads, the fellow who was actually doing up the bike for me, he knew about the transplant, and then another one of the lads called out. He was like, oh, what are you doing? I said, oh, we're out here stripping the bike, getting ready for paint and whatever. And he was like, yeah, I'll call out there. So I was like, yeah, I'll keep my hat on now. I says to the boys, I said, say not know about the hair. And grand, and it got so fucking hot. We were inside in a shed with a steel roof, like, and it got so hot, the sweat was rolling down my head, and I was thinking, these follicles are just going to sweat and fall out onto the fucking ground, and then snails are going to have a hair transplant, know what I mean? And I'll have none. So I just took my hat off and said to one of the boys, "No, fuck this, man." He was like, "What?" I said, "Yeah, look, I just got my hair done." He was like, "What? Fuck off, you didn't." I was like, "Look at it, fucking thing's red raw." Of course I did. So yeah, fucking got that done. Yeah, ended up fucking doing up the bike. Oh, Jesus Christ, my fucking shoulder. That's definitely my shoulder. No, there's no other term for that. Like the hip soccer thing. Oh, Jesus Christ, above Dublin, that's fucking bad. Oh, I didn't even realise I was leaning on my arm all that time. Leaning on my fucking, putting my weight all down my arm for about 40 minutes. I feel like. Maybe I wasn't. But anyway. Yeah, fucking painted the bike. Did an unreal job of it. I didn't, but I helped. And that was class. So got the training. So I was allowed to drive. Got insured. Perfect. Went on a good few spins when I could. Now, at the time, I was kind of working most weekends. So I didn't get the chance to go out on it and get the experience that I would have liked to get. So I was still fairly fucking, I was grand, like I was able to drive, you know, but still very nervous and stuff, especially on like motorways and stuff like that where it's just wide open spaces. And I just the whole time in my head, because of the way that my brain works, the whole time in my head I'm just thinking like, what if something goes wrong? What if my chain snaps? What if this happens? What if that happens? And you just kind of spend the time then driving and not actually enjoying what you're doing. Because you're too busy thinking about what could happen, or, do you know, thinking negative about the whole thing. I'm thinking like, oh, I'm fucking supposed to be enjoying this. This is meant to be my hobby, like. And I'm just thinking, not even thinking negatively, I suppose, just being worried. And I tried to fucking train myself out of it. I thought, look, fucking, it's grand. Like, I'm not out here taking stupid risks or fucking flying at speed or any of that bullshit. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't like that. It doesn't thrill me to fucking go fast. Do you know what I mean? I just don't. It's just not in me. Like, so I tried to train myself out of the whole fear thing, but it just wouldn't. I don't know. I just couldn't shake it. So I was just always there, and I was thinking, oh, yeah, I like this and all, and I loved the whole parking up and chatting and fucking all the rest of it. But the actual driving of the bike itself, I liked it in, like, going through town or something like that. Pure, comfortable and confident and grand. Manoeuvring around town and stuff like that. But as soon as you get onto a country road and you see like those shiny parts of the road and stuff like that, you know, like where tar is replaced or something like that, and there's a big shiny patch, I'm going along, and if I have to bank it all, I'll be fucking powering it off my head. So yeah, I just never got to the level that I wanted to be at on it, so I was kind of still a little bit uncomfortable. So there was one day then, there was an open bike meet. There was a club holding a bike meet, and you didn't have to be in the club to go, but they were kind of hosting it or whatever. So a load of us went along. There was fucking, Jesus, there was a rake of bikes there anyway. There was 40 out of 50 bikes, I'd say. I don't even know, there could be more or less, but that's what it seems like in my memory anyway. And we all met up, fucking another beautiful day. All met up anyway, all having a coffee. And looking around thinking, this is fucking brilliant now, like, and it's this is what it's about, like, do you know what I mean? Just out fucking load of lads having a laugh and fucking doing something on the weekend, do you know what I mean? And fucking enjoying it. And so we drove down as far as, was it Doolin Pier, I think? Load of us, just big convoy down along, yeah, grand, fucking happy out, stopped I think once or twice on the way. And that when we got the ferry. No, that's not no, we went to a pier and didn't get a ferry. No, we didn't get a ferry that day, did we? No. So we went to the pier and we got coffee and stuff at the pier, and the lads wanted to come back to Limerick, but they wanted to go up by Oranmore, I think. It's a kind of a seaside drive thing, but I don't know. I don't know that part of the country, but they wanted to go that way. So the lads that I was with were kind of like, no, look, we don't want to go that way. Let's go this way. We'll branch off ourselves, just our own crowd, like 5 or 6 bikes, and we'll head to Lahinch and we'll get chips or whatever there, and then we'll head back the road. So like, yeah, that's grand. So we were on the way over to Lahinch, and I was coming down towards a pedestrian crossing, and just going like normal, the speed limit on the road. Like, as I said, don't be fucking flying it. Like, and there's people everywhere and stuff as well. Do you know what I mean? So you're even more careful looking around. So fucking one of the lads was up ahead, and I was behind him, and there was another fella just behind me, and so the fellow who was up ahead spotted someone that looked like they were walking across the pedestrian crossing, but I don't think they even ended up crossing, whatever. But he kind of stopped suddenly because he was thinking, oh shit, that person's crossing the road. So he kind of stopped suddenly. So when I was coming down behind him, I pressed the brakes, but I like, when I was doing my IBT and learning how to actually drive a bike, I think you're supposed to do like 70% front brake and 30% back brake. But like, how are you supposed to justify that percentage in your head, you know, and evenly distribute it, do you know what I mean, or unevenly distribute your pressure on your foot brake and your handbrake, do you know what I mean? So when I was coming down, I think I pressed the back brake. I did press the back brake, and the back wheel skidded when I was coming towards the pedestrian crossing, and like, it was grand, there was no near miss, there was nobody on the road or anything at the time, and I managed to stop in time, whatever. But I was thinking to myself afterwards, I was thinking, fucking hell, that was stupid. Why the fuck how did I lock the wheel? I didn't realise how I had made that mistake. And that was grand, and I was kind of fucking pissed off with myself then. And just a couple of minutes later, we were coming down along the road and there was a bend that was just veering off slightly. And when I was coming around that bend, I just thought that I was going a little bit quick for the bend. Now, not quick for the road, but just a little bit too quick for the bend that I was trying to take. So I was like, right, I'll give it a little bit of brake. Gave it a little bit of brake, but sure, I don't think I pressed the front brake at all. And I touched the back brake. Just touched it because I didn't panic. I just thought, oh, I'm going a little bit too quick for this bend. I'll just slow down a little bit. So instead of touching the front brake, which I should have done because I was kind of half banked, I touched the back brake. So the back wheel skidded on the bike. And when that happened, then I panicked and I didn't know what's next. What do you do? Like, do you know what I mean? And even if I did know what I'm supposed to do, would I have been able to do it under pressure? So I just panicked. And like, I wasn't confident enough to be driving the bike, I don't think. As I said, like, I didn't have that much experience on it. So I panicked and I stopped braking. I stopped taking the bend and just straightened back up and just hope for the best. So I didn't have a plan. My brain just froze and I shot across the road onto the wrong side. The bike hit a wall while I was on it, but I don't feel like my leg hit the wall. So I think when I went towards the wall at an angle, I think my front forks maybe hit the wall. And when that happened, the impact of that, it flung me off and I went over the wall because the wall was actually probably a little bit lower than my bike, but there was a little kind of a grass embankment thing up to it. Not embankment, like a little fucking, just a little bit of grass and mud that the wall was built on top of, we'll say. So I think I kind of went onto that grass and mud, hit the wall, and straight away that momentum flung me off the bike. Then the side of the bike hit the wall, so I didn't crush my leg or anything like that. And the bike ran along the wall for a minute and fell over onto the road, and then was just fucking bouncing off the limiter, fucking on the ground. And I went over the wall, like fucking Superman, flipped in the air, landed on my back in freshly cut grass. And I no sooner hit the ground and I fucking sprung back up instantly, like, and I remember thinking to myself, like, oh, I'm fucked. And I remember moving my arms and legs, thinking, I'm not fucked. What the fuck is going on? So straight away I went back to the wall and put my hands on top of the wall because the field was actually lower than the wall itself. So the road was up here and the field was down there, we'll say. So it was kind of at my height, and I put my hands on top of the wall, and I was looking around, pure confused. My bike was fucking bouncing off the limiter on the ground, and there was a girl in with a helmet on, and came over, and she was looking into my face, asking me, "Am I okay?" I was thinking, my first thought in my mind was like, "Who's that? That's not one of my friends. I don't know who this girl is." Do you know? I was like, what? I was looking around, pure confused, thinking, who's this person? What? Because I was expecting it to be one of the lads, and I was just like, I was thinking, like, all right, I'm after crashing, I'm after hurting myself a bit. I'm able to walk, I'm able to move my arms and legs, but who's that looking into my eyes? Because she was right here, like, looking to make sure that I was okay. She's like, "You okay? You all right?" I was like, pure confused, thinking, what the fuck is going on here? Was I with my friends? I surely was. And I didn't know what the fuck was going on. But it turned out that one of the bikes from the big group had heard us saying that we were going to Lynch. So they were just like, fuck it, we'll trail on with the lads. They seem sound and we'll get food with them and go back up the road. Or they might have known one or two of the lads, but I didn't know them anyway. And they just decided to trail on with us. So they were actually behind me as well when it happened. And the man was driving the bike, and it was his missus that jumped off the back and ran over to me straight away. She was the only passenger that was there, so she was able to get off the bike quickest and come over and check was I okay. And yeah, I was walking around the field, and my two ankles felt like they were just going to give way. My two wrists felt fucked, and my two thumbs felt fucked. So I obviously fucking bounced them off the ground, whatever. But I took off my helmet. I had scrapes on the front of my helmet and down the visor. I had a rip on my jacket here. I had a rip on the ankle of my jeans, my motorbike jeans, and no damage, no scrapes on my body at all. So that means that the wall must have been just the perfect height for me to sail over. So I can't understand how I got so lucky. It's just because I just skimmed everything and didn't get properly injured. And it turns out that it was just my thumb. Literally, I went into the hospital and I was like, yeah, my ankles and my thumbs and my wrists, I don't know what's wrong, but they're all in fucking bad pain or whatever, and I really can't move this thumb. And they took x-rays and checked everything out, and they were like, oh yeah, no, it's just your thumb is broken. I was like, what's wrong with everything else then? And they were like, oh, that's just some pain and swelling and stuff like that. So yeah, you'll be fine. Like, yeah. And they were like, yeah. Fucking hell. I couldn't believe it. So yeah, just fucking literally broke my thumb. And that's it. And when I got the cast on in the hospital, and I was talking to one of the lads that I know that I used to work with, and I told him what happened, and he was like, oh, do you want to sell the bike? I was like, I crashed it, like. He was like, have you pictures of the damage? So I showed him, and it was just like a dent on the tank and one or two things a little bit bent and stuff like that. It was fucking fine, like, do you know what I mean? Probably 200 or 300 quid would have had it perfect again, like. And it was a nice bike, like. It was I never actually told you I got a new bike. that was a so the Bandit was 99, and it felt a little bit too old for me. It felt like a 99 to me. So then I got the Yamaha XJ6, which was also a 600, but it was 2010, so it was 11 years newer, and it had like better features and stuff like that, and someone had put heated grips on it and stuff, digital clocks and all that kind of stuff, and it was just I thought it was a way nicer bike and a way nicer bike to drive, but it had no ABS, and I didn't know that. I just assumed 2010 bike, of course, has ABS, so that's why the fucking wheel was locking up. And obviously I was probably putting too much pressure on the fucking back brake when I shouldn't have even been using the back brake. So that was that hobby out the window. And I'm just gone over an hour, and I felt like I barely even talked about anything. What did I talk about? Hair transplant, motorbikes, Bluetooth. Yeah. But anyway, and we did a little feature and all. So, yeah. I'll leave it there. Happy enough? Yeah. Same thing, give me feedback if you can. Give me feedback. It'd be much appreciated. And follow me on all the socials. Walshunit on everything, and Walshunit41 on TikTok. And don't forget to subscribe on YouTube as well. And if you could like and comment and fucking shit, know what to do. Call into your nana's house, right? And just go over and go, Nana, I think someone's parking outside your house. And when she's going over checking, then pick up her phone, go in, search Walshunit. It's the one with the picture of me on the fucking profile on YouTube, not the one with Peppa Pig on it, because that's some cunt who robs my videos and puts them on some fucking Walshunit Entertainment. That's not me. So fuck that account. Don't even bother following that account. And if you are following it, unfollow it, please. And follow my one and get your go on snake on your nana's phone and all. And come here, if you don't want to watch the episode, oh yeah, sure, you're after already watching this episode. Anyway, if you watch this episode, you don't even find it entertaining, right? Put on the next episode, even if you don't want to watch it, and just leave it on in the background so I get the view. And like it and comment on it and just go like, oh, I didn't enjoy this episode. And then, yeah, it's grand, it's still a comment. Know what I mean? But then again, no, that might deter people from watching it. Don't do that. Write something nice. Know what I mean? Just say, oh, you're sound. Do you know? Yeah, so don't say anything. So if you don't like the video, the podcast, just like comment and say something nice about me or about my setup or something like that, but don't say anything nice about the episode. So then I'll know that you don't like it, but I'll still get a positive comment. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Nice one. Perfect. Thanks very much. Cheers. See you in a while, all right? Good luck.
The unit, the unit, the unit, the unit, the unit, the unit, the unit.